Hi, I'm Eddie the Epic, and you're not. Today, I want to talk about the amazing world of...
It's time to duel. Oh dear.
And if you thought things couldn't get any crazier... I'm actually shocked these still fit. I will say this, I've been into Pokemon way more and way longer too, but what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Really stands out from Pokemon. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Ain't really a Pokemon clone per se, it just happened to be its own thing. In fact, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Started back in 1996 as a more of an OVA, where the card game was not really fully existent, yet it had some kind of resemblance. Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 showed an episode of the card battles and stuff. I wish I could tell you more. I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. If you want to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0, then you can go watch it. I really do not care. I mean, if it isn't already obvious enough, you probably view me a little bit more as a... Now, I've watched plenty of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've seen all of Season 1 of the original Duel Monsters, all of Season 1 of GX. Haven't really watched much of 5Ds. Zexals I could care less about. Arc 5 was just okay. Vrains, I need to continue on. Go Rush, and Sevens. Sevens. 8 series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just all scattered about. And trust me, I love me the anime. But what about the card game, you may ask? Well, in all honesty, the main reason why I did get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Is because of the card game. So, what I'm gonna do is basically show off every type of card there is to Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not gonna really give tutorials on how to summon said cards or whatever, but I do believe to give out a good opinion on Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to figure out what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! As in, what kind of cards are there? So, let's start off with the basics with a basic Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. Oh, hold on. There we go. A normal monster, I guess you can say. These things are your key to Yu-Gi-Oh! They basically make the battlefield the battlefield. And if you have one of these, then you can pretty much play a battle in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, some of these monsters have 4 stars. Some of them have 3, 2, or 1. That's their level. They'll also have attack and defense, which, well, like I said, I'm not giving a tutorial on Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you have any problems, you can call 1-800, I did not ask. But I mean, what more is there to a monster card besides its level, defense, attack, and its little description? Well, if you have an effect monster, those monsters can give off additional effects. Whether it be something good, something bad, something ugly, who knows? Moving on, we're out of the monster zone and into the spell zone. This is a spell card, and what a spell card is, it's basically an action card you can play onto the field, whether it be just a quick spell, a quick play spell, something you equip to a monster, something that goes on forever and ever, something that can be used for the field, and something that can be used for ritual summoning, which I'll get into ritual summoning later on, but other than that, that's just how spells work. I'll be right back. Now, moving on, we have the trap card. No, this isn't what kind of trap you're thinking. Get your minds out of the gutters, y'all. This trap card, well, traps are what you expect. If you're thinking Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise, these are played when you want to do one of those aha moments or gotcha moments or however it does. But for a trap card, it basically, you can't play it the turn you just set it. So if you want to play this bad boy, you better hope you play it at the right time. Otherwise, you might as well just be better off doing this. Did I get it? Whee. Yeah, it's gone. And if you thought we were done with basic spells, traps, and basic monsters, well, you'd actually be wrong. And that's why when it comes to monsters, you can't just have your basic monsters. Nah, we need something more powerful, more complete, more complicated. Yeah, ritual monsters. These things you can summon by, well, having the ritual monster, the ritual spell, and the right amount of monsters for said ritual. Now, this could be even equal to the level, or beyond the said level, depending on what the spell card says. But in all honesty, the best way to do monsters isn't by ritual summoning because, well, ritual monsters, ritual spells, and all the other cards are located in the deck itself. Yep, we're about to hit extra deck monsters, but this one is not in the extra deck, which kind of makes me wonder why. Like, seriously, why? That's why the next type of monster actually makes a bit more sense to be in the extra deck, and it belongs in the extra deck anyways. Behold, I know what you're thinking. Eddie, that's not a monster card, that's a purple card. Well, yes, it is purple. And yes, it is a monster. It's a fusion monster card in which you would need both the right monsters plus the right fusion spell. Now, the most common fusion spell is polymerization, but if you want to go beyond that, go look at the cards yourselves. But of course, most fusion monsters require one kind of monster and something else, like another kind of monster or another kind of spell. But in all honesty, fusion summonings ain't the best thing in the world. But hey, at least you don't have to worry about figuring out the right level like with this. Yeah. And trust me, it gets way more complicated after that. Now, when you think of Yu-Gi-Oh, you think of monsters. Do you ever think of cars? Synchro makes you think of cars. And what I mean by that is synchro summoning. Synchro monsters are synchro summoned by having a tuner monster and then non-tuner monsters that equal the level of the said synchro monster. That's right. You can't go above or below. You gotta be even, otherwise you can't synchro summon. And what I mean by think of it like a car, the tuner is basically the main engine part, while the other parts are made out of other monsters. And in all honesty, I could care less about synchro. Xyz, on the other hand, whoops, wrong side. Xyz, on the other hand, is a bit more complicated. Unlike thinking, oh, I just need this part and then the rest are other parts. With Xyz summoning, you don't tribute monsters, you overlay them. And what I mean by overlay, you take 2 cards or more cards, have the Xyz monster, Xyz summon, put these cards below the said Xyz monster. Why am I doing this? Anywho, Xyz monsters usually require a certain amount of kind of monsters, like this one requires 2 level 2 monsters. Does anyone really care about Xyz cards? Yes. And up next we have what's basically a monster and a spell in one. Say hello. Let's tip the scales a little bit. Pendulum. These are called pendulum monsters, and I know what you're thinking. Why are they called pendulum monsters? Well, if you look very closely, we have pendulum scales. And you're thinking, well, Eddie, what do those do? Well, I'll tell you, little Johnny Toe Rag. The scales act like the spell. If you put these in the spell zone and you have the right scales set, you can basically become OP and summon monsters between the set scale numbers, like 1 through, like if you have a scale of 1 and a scale of 8, you can summon monsters level 2 through 7. Why not 1 through 8, you say? I actually have no clue myself. Ask the developers. But, of course, this little box right here is basically what you would do if you had this card in your spell zone, while the other effect is if you had this card in your monster zone. Now, anything else could happen, so, I mean, what else would you want to do? Well, ding dang dong, someone's knocking at my door. Let me go see who it is.
Hello, I'm the last card you need.
Well, now I regret everything. Okay, I swear this is the last type of card we're going to talk about today, y'all. I swear. Link monsters. Now, link monsters are pretty cool. You basically need certain monsters for, like, tributing. Think of it like a tribute summon, except that this isn't your regular monster. You see that number? You see these numbers? What do you think is missing? I'll give you 5 seconds. Defense. Link monsters cannot be put in defense position because reasons. In all honesty, Link monsters you could just basically use as regular monsters, you may be thinking. But no, because if you pay even closer attention, you can see that these cards have little arrows on them. And whatever the arrow points to helps the effect of the said monster. Now, here's my problem with Link monsters. I already said it, didn't I? No defense! And in all honesty, having no defense is basically like having a peanut butter and jelly without the peanut butter and jelly. It's just bread. I don't want just bread. So, if y'all guys like my video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see y'all guys next time when I teach y'all actually how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Other than that, this is Eddie the Epic. Peace out.